Hello, everyone, and we have some topics to discuss today. It's more of classes and object concept first that we will cover, and if we will get time, we'll talk about more on object-oriented programming concepts. Otherwise, we will take it later on. But we have good amount of topics here to discuss different things. Okay. So first, before you understand anything else in Java programming, it's better to understand what is classes. Okay, what is class? What is object? First thing to understand. Because whenever you are writing a program, you must have observed that what we do whenever you are writing a program, you are doing right click in your package and you are saying new class. So basically, you are every time you are creating a class, correct? So let me create a class today. Let's say car. Okay, I'm creating a class. Now the question is, what should be the name of the class? You see, everything is important. You cannot give a class name randomly anything, right? So first understand what is class. So, if you have gone through the bookish definition, it's correct. Everywhere, wherever you have seen the definition of class and object, it's always they have given good examples. The theoretically the definition is good, but the problem is we have to understand it in a proper way. Okay, what is car? What is class? Class is real world entity, right? You must have heard about this thing that it's real world entity. Any real world entity is classes, right? Can be considered as class. It's like this. Okay. Now, why it has come? Because earlier there was sequential programming, not procedural programming language, right? So before object-oriented programming, there was procedural programming language. Okay. So there it was difficult to combine something which has similar properties. So for example, very simple example is, let's say anything like student, you want to create multiple students with the similar properties, right? So it was difficult in procedural languages like C or BASIC, those languages. But then in C, there was one advanced concept which is called struct. Okay, struct. So through that, in C language, there is something called struct or union, right? And union. So in C language, struct. So they wanted to achieve to group the data types. Okay, so let's understand with another example. Let's assume that you want to create 5 cars, the details of 5 cars, correct? So let's assume the car details are the model, right? And let's say color, and let's say um, what we say, car model. Car will have model, car will have color, and make. Make means when it was like model make, like 2013 model, 2015 model, something like this. So you want to um, have this value for 3 different cars. Okay. So how you will do it? So model is generally a string. So you'll say a string car1, car1 model is equals to Baleno. Okay. Let's say Maruti Baleno, I am writing here. Let's say Maruti Baleno. Okay. Color. Again, you want to say for the first car, car one's color is, let's say, white. Okay. And integer car one's make is equals to 2019. Okay. Now you want to have this detail for two more cars. Okay. So there is another car which is, let's say, car 2, and that is, let's say, it is Tata Tiago, and that is also white, and car make is 2020, and this will be car 2, and then let's say car 3, and that is, let's assume Audi. Okay, Audi A3, something like this, and this is red, and this is 2026, something like that. Now, the problem with this is, like, you have to remember all the variable name, right? And if there are 1,000 cars, then it will be difficult to maintain these variables, correct? So there should be some approach where, or there should be some solution where, if we have similar kind of property, right, we can group it. As of now, what is happening? You are declaring one variable, a string, then another string variable, then again integer, right? So, but it's not grouped, right? It looks like grouped. See, I can mingle it, right? This two detail can come here also somewhere, right? You can print it later on, but this is not looking like in an arranged way, correct? This is not looking like a grouped way. So when people who are doing this thing in procedural programming, they come up with a problem that there should be something which can group this thing, because we are talking about the same car here, right? A car has its model, its color, and make. Another car also have its make, its or whatever, it's there, right? So another car has its color, model, and everything. Every car has this, that. So there was a problem, like how to maintain this thing. Another thing is, they understand that every real world entity has some properties and behavior. Okay, let me write it here. So every real world entity is associated with some kind of data and the method. Data and method. Okay. Why I'm saying this? You take any example. So for example, car. Car has data. These are the data. And it has some functions also. Method means some kind of functionality it does. It's like brake is a functionality, acceleration is a functionality, right? So those are the functionalities. For, let's take any other example. Forget about the car. Let's say there is a school management system. So in the school, there will be some data, let's say student data. So student is associated with their attendance. So there will be attendance. An employee, let's say if employee is the real world entity, employee is associated with their salaries, right? So there will be calculate salary for every employee. So understand from a bigger perspective, in your own company, let's say there are employee self-service or ESS portals are there, right? HR portal is there. So there they have your data. Like, so your name, your address, your age, your date of birth, your department, whether you are working in engineering department or IT department, your salary, your monthly salary is getting calculated based on what data you provide to them, your yearly salary, your taxes. it's associated with your data, correct? So any real world entity will have generally data and method both. So now again the problem was, okay, entity will have data and method both, but I want the method to work on this data only. So for example, method means functions, right? So there may be functions like let's say brake. Okay. So there is a function, brake on car is a function, and you can call that function. But the problem is, on which car? Is it for this car? Is it for this car, or is this for this car, right? Or if it is for all the cars, right? But how it will be associated with these details only? I want to call a function brake on my car, let's say on Tata Tiago. So I want to make sure that it will work on this only, right? So then object-oriented programming concept came into picture, and then the data binding uh, thing came into picture as an object-oriented concept. And they say that, hey, we can group data and method together, okay, in a class. Now coming to the point that what is class? Class is any real world entity where you can think of common properties. Okay. Forget about the method as of now, where you can think of common properties, that is classes. Okay. So for example, student is a class. Anything you name it, you name. It's not like that you have to think a lot. If somebody will ask you, hey, what is class? You don't have to think much about it. Say any name, anything. You say book. Book is also a class, right? Can be converted as a class because every book will have its property like author, number of pages, right? Basic detail every book will have, right? So you name anything. Medicine is a class. Every medicine will have its no name, its expiry date, and all. Correct. So you any that's why it's very easy. Generally, we think about what is real world entity. See, everything is a real world entity, and everything can be converted as a class because real world entities can have common properties, right? Simple. So now when I say car is a real world entity. So instead of making in this way, now what we can do is we can declare only the variables and forget about the data part. The value will be filled later on, right? So for example, car. Car will have again the same thing. Let's write it. So string, what I said, it's like make, integer make, right? Int make. Make means it's like when you are purchasing it, when it was created, like 2019 model, 2018 model, we say, right? Then it should have a color, and every car will have model. That's it. Now we are making it at class level. See here, it's mentioned at class level. Fine. So these will be called class level variables and or instance variable. Okay. Now, once you declare it at the class level, see here, this is class declared, curly bracket is open, curly bracket is closed. And you have declared it at class level. Okay. You have not declared it inside the main function. If the same thing you will mention it at inside the main function, it will be called local variable. Okay, because nobody outside the main function will know what it is. So for example, if I write here integer x is equals to 20, and let's say there is a function here, public void check, any random function I'm making. Do you think I'll be able to access this x? No. If I'll make it here system.out.println x, it will show me error. It will say It doesn't know what is X. It's saying me that X is not identified, something like that, it will say. So if I hover over this, it's saying X cannot be resolved to a variable because this function do not know what is X. It is declared inside the main function. So main is also a function, and the scope of X is just inside this curly bracket. That's it. Nobody else knows what is X outside the curly bracket. Okay. So this is what local variable to main function. This is example of local variable. And all these variables are instance variable, okay, or class level variables. Class level variable. Fine. Now, what is the difference? So why we are saying it is as instance variable? The reason is instance variable goes with the instance. That means whenever you will create the object of the class, it will go with the class object. Okay, it will go with the object. Now, again, the question is what is then class and what is the object? I will make it simpler now. Right? So, do you know when you want to make a brick, right? Brick, what is the thing required? I'm asking. Tell me. What do you need to make a brick? So I'm giving some real life example here. If you want to make a brick, what do you need? You need the frame or the mold, we say, correct? You need mold so that you can create similar kind of bricks. These will be the, what we say, properties, like it will the material which you will provide to the mold or the frame. And similar example, like if you want to make, like let's say similar kind of, let's say cake or the cupcakes or the idli, you need some material, but you need some kind of frame or the mold, correct? So that you can create similar thing. Now, when we are declaring class here and we are saying, hey, these three things are the common properties of any car. So what we are saying here is, okay, that my car is a my car will have, or any car will have these three properties. So um, let's assume this is the class. So in the class, we are saying that it has these properties. Okay, make, color, and model. Fine. So this is car. Now, this is your model, means this is one time you have to create. Now, whenever you will create a new object, object means it's a copy of the class. Now, in a simple word, I will say objects are copy or the photocopy of your class or the template. So, for example, in programming, how you will create the object, it's simple. You will say car1 is equals to new car. And see, guys, the people who invented this programming language, they wanted to put the things in a very practical way, right? Real life way. What I'm doing here, I'm saying that, hey, I want to create a copy of car and I'm giving a name. I can give any name, right? So I'm giving car1 and it should be a new car. Means you create one copy of the car and assign it as a new car. It's like this. Assign it a name, right? It's like you buy one dog, right? And you name, whatever you want to say to it, correct? It's like this. You're buying something and you can put your own name, right? So you can say my car one, my car two, or car one. Correct? It's like this. So car, why I'm writing car here? Because I'm saying I want to create a copy of the car. So I'm saying car one is equals to new car. So when you say new car, what happens in the background? What it does, it creates a copy of this. Creates, okay, you have this. So it creates a copy here. But then the name of this is actually car one, not car. So here it will be basically not car, it will be car one. It's a similar type of thing, but it's car one. Okay. Now, again, if you will create another car, it will create another object. So you will say car2 is equals to new car. So what will happen now? Again, same thing. There will be another copy of this. So basically, class is template. Objects are copy. So this will be car2. Then this will be not car, it will be car2. Okay. And it will have its own properties. Car1 do not know whether you have created car2 or not. Both are independent. This is one car. This is another car. Every car will have its own properties now. So if I write car1 dot, see automatically color, make, model is coming because car1 will have its own color. Let's say we will put white. Okay. Car car1 will have its own make. Let's say 2020. Car1 will have its own model. Let's say we'll say Maruti Baleno. Now, car 2. Car 2 will have its own color. Let's say red. Car 2 will have its own make. Let's say 2021. And car 2 will have its own model. Let's say this is Audi. Done. Car 1 and car 2 are not related. Let's understand. Okay. Car 1 does not know whether you have made another car or not. Car 1 is separate. Car 2 is separate. These are objects. Like you create multiple bricks, right? Do the bricks know each other? No, right? It is made from the similar mold, similar frame, but they don't know each other. Correct? The same way we are making. Now this is resolving lot of problem, right? Earlier we used to create six different variables like car one make, car one color, car one model, car two. Right? I have shown you, right? I have deleted that thing, but I've shown you that if there are 500 cars, then you have to create 1500 variables. Correct? But here you are creating just three variables and everything will go with its instance. So that's why class level variables are called instance variables, which will go with its object. So how you create the object? By new keyword. So new keyword will create new objects of the class. Simple. And it can have its own functions. So we can create brake car, or that thing, right? Now, when you are declaring it inside the class, see here, class is started here and it is ending here. So if it is inside a class, that means it's the property of the class itself. So you can basically use it with its variable. It's like this. So it is associated, automatically associated with this variables. So you can say that, hey, for the car one, I want to brake the car. It's like the brake means the brake and the accelerator. Stop the car. Let's make it a stop. Brake is uh, not a good word here. Brake has different meaning. It's basically stop car. So when I say car one to stop car, it will stop only car one. Let's understand. Because stop car, you want to call through the car one object. It's like this. Okay. So data and method works together. That's the beauty of the object-oriented programming like Java and C++. Okay.